Well, at least 33 Americans have been killed in the Israel-Hamas war so far, according to the Secretary of State on Tuesday. And the war, now entering its third week, has become the deadliest for both sides. Hamas initially took 220 people hostage, with at least 10 Americans feared to be among those held captive in Gaza. 4 have been released so far. For analysts on the war, let's bring in a foreign policy expert, Harley Lippman. Harley, welcome back. So you're in Saudi Arabia right now. What are Arab leaders saying about the war in the Middle East?
Well, everybody's worried that this may set back the goals of normalizing with Saudi Arabia and Israel. And people here are looking for regional stability. So this is a evil but very clever attempt really coming from Iran, because Hamas could not do that without Iran's support and cooperation. So while everybody's focusing on Hamas, which is an even worse form of ISIS, Iran is really the ones that are behind all this.
Well, let's talk about the hostages, because that is a hot issue. Everybody is saying bring them home. Why is it taking so long to bring these hostages home?
Because Hamas is using them as human shields. They are trying to prevent Israel from defending themselves, with the threat that if Israel goes in and cleans out Hamas, that these hostages will be killed. So they're trying to give away a few hostages every week or so as a way to delay Israel's reaction, which is very clever, because the window is narrowing for Israel to do this. Because initially the world was very sympathetic to Israel, but as time is passing and they see innocent casualties among Palestinians in Gaza, because Hamas uses them as human shields, a lot of people are starting to turn against Israel. And so that's what they're counting on, to prevent Israel from going into Gaza and trying to eradicate Hamas.
Yeah, speaking about the deaths on both sides, the Hamas-run health ministry claims that over 5,000 Palestinians have been killed. And then since that surprise attack by Hamas on October 7th, more than 1,400 Israelis have been killed, many butchered in unthinkable ways, as you mentioned. Do you think the Hamas-run health ministry is telling the truth about that 5,000 Palestinian death number?
It doesn't matter whatever the number is. Hamas is responsible. When you go into somebody's home and you're firing rockets from their balcony, let's say, into an Israeli home that kills innocent people, women and children, you're putting that family, you're responsible, Hamas, for putting that Palestinian family at risk. Israel is trying its best to avoid human casualties, innocent people being killed. They're dropping leaflets. They're begging people to evacuate and go south. And, Israel is doing everything possible to avoid killing innocent Palestinians. There's nothing good that could come for Israel for innocent Palestinians to be killed. But this is Hamas's intention. And it's quite remarkable that they're using their civilians to protect the military. In the history of warfare, the military is generally used to protect their citizens. So this is their way of exploiting their own people to be able to commit savagery on Israel.
Let's talk about those leaflets, since you brought that up. So yesterday we saw Israel drop those leaflets in Gaza. They were seeking hostage information, promising protection, money, confidentiality. And the leaflets read, "For a peaceful future, share hostage information." That's basically what it said. But then we saw some Palestinians tear up those leaflets. Help us understand that.
Well, I think the Palestinians that tear up the leaflets are one of two kinds. Either they're brainwashed, which could be, when in schools in Gaza, they teach you when you're a child that if you have 10 Jews and you kill 8, how many do you have left, in their classes where they teach mathematics. So they teach them at early age to hate Jews and hate Israel. So that may be one reason. Or the other reason is they're afraid of Hamas. Hamas rules with an iron hand and will kill and torture their own people should they show any moderation or any sympathy for Israel. So I believe that the Palestinian people in Gaza are fed up with Hamas. They want a normal life. So even though it's built on a tragedy, I'm actually hopeful. Like at the end of World War II, we worked with Germans. We found Adenauer And Germany, 80 years later, is a peaceful nation that has no appetite for war. So this is an opportunity for the people in Gaza to live a good life. And I think really that's what most of them want.
Yeah, I had no idea how much anti-Semitism there is existing today in the United States. What's your take on the United States' response? What does the U.S. need to do?
Well, I think one, the United States, which it's doing so far, is showing its support for Israel because, again, Israel will fight its own war. They don't want any American soldiers. They just need the equipment to fight the Arabs on their own. So I think the giving Israel the military support it needs is critical. Second, I think you have to cut off the head of the snake. In the end, this is all orchestrated from Tehran. And they use their proxies in the Middle East, Hezbollah in Lebanon, Hamas in Gaza, to kidnap, torture people. It's reached an extraordinary level of cruelty and savagery. And I think, if civilization stands for anything, or if we stand for anything as Americans, it's that no matter what your grievance, this is why this is not about the Palestinian-Israeli conflict. It's about murder. That no matter what your grievance, you can't deliberately kill innocent people.
Right. Right. In the specific way that they did it to, in that barbaric way. Harley Lippman, thank you for your time today. Appreciate the insight.
My pleasure. Thank you.
For all our viewers asking where One America News is heading in the future, we would like to introduce you to OANN Live. OANN Live is the best way to stay up to date on all of the hard-hitting, straight-shooting, national and international headlines. And the best part is, OANN Live is only $4.99 per month. All the credible, honest, unbiased reporting One America News offers at a fraction of the cost of cable. Just go to OANN.com to easily sign up for OANN Live and stay informed.